Why isn't it working? When will it work? When will I be the success I know I can be? Why haven't I made it yet? What's holding me back? Everyone wants success. Everyone dreams of reaching for that next level: financial freedom, creative fulfillment, confidence, and peace of mind. But if success were only about talent, hard work, or luck, most people would have it by now. What holds most people back isn't the world around them. Well, to some extent that could be true. But what's likely holding you back is what's going on in that beautiful little brain of yours. When you finally understand what's going on inside, you can finally change it. I beg of you to stay until the end of this video so I can share 8 reasons that could be preventing you from getting your W's and some mindset shifts and tips to help you overcome them. Melt your body into your seat, breathe in some polluted air, and we're gonna get right into it. Like right now. Okay. Have you ever considered what success would actually do for you? And I'm not talking about the cars, the money, the women. I'm talking about how your life would actually change if you achieved what you set out to accomplish. Have you considered the complexity of managing a business, along with a household, let alone managing and investing large sums of money? Sounds overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you that it is. We only ever consider the glamorous sides of excess, but we never really talk about the downsides. Subconsciously, we know a lot more than we can imagine, and the mental aspects that I'll talk about are the ways that you are designed to protect yourself against the perceived dangers of aiming for success. Are you afraid to fail? Could you be afraid to succeed? What about being seen and putting yourself out there? Fear is the quiet force that stops more dreams than failure ever could. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough, fear of your grandiose plans not working out, fear of disappointing yourself and others. It's that voice in your pretty little head that says, what if I try and it doesn't work? Or what will people think if I mess up? What is Cindy from middle school gonna think about me? The truth is, no one's going to be thinking about you anyway. Just kidding. In all seriousness though, no one's gonna be thinking about you anyway. Sorry, I can't stop. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every person who's ever achieved something meaningful has failed, often repeatedly. The difference is they didn't let fear make the final decision. Colin R. Davis said, the road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. So let's embrace this mindset shift together, shall we? Failure isn't a dead end, it's feedback. It's proof and validation that you are trying. It's having the courage to try and then picking yourself back up when things didn't work out. Overcome your fears by leaning into courage. Overcome your fears by understanding that you're only ever going to live this life one day at a time, and you can learn to manage overwhelm. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else matters more. You'll probably never subdue your largest fears, but you can gain enough confidence to face them head on. Once again, one day at a time. Build trust in yourself. The more you keep promises to yourself, the more you trust your ability to handle fear. Every time you face something uncomfortable and survive, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That's how confidence is built. Not from perfection, but from persistence. And remember, fear is a sign that you're growing. If you're scared, it means you're stepping into something new. Fear is often a compass pointing at what needs to be addressed the most. So instead of asking, how do I get rid of fear? Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? Or what opportunity for growth is this fear presenting me? Yep. You're trying to attain perfection, or a version of it. You're afraid to come off messy, but don't see that there's a lot of beauty in messy. Messy is where magic is made. Perfection sounds noble. It seems like holding yourself to a higher standard. Trust me, that's what I used to believe. But in reality, it's fear wearing a mask. It's anxiety rearing its ugly head. To an extent, perfection is grasping for control you don't feel you have right now. It's the belief that you can't start until everything's organized, figured out, and that Alpha Centauri C and Polaris is exactly aligned the moment you wish to start. That you can't share your work until it's perfectly polished and has been revised 1,000 times. That you can't take action until you're ready. Perfection is an illusion. It's a mechanism designed to protect you. If I'm perfect enough, maybe I won't be subjected to ridicule. Maybe I won't get hurt. If my work is good, maybe people will be nice to me. They will not. But perfect has never stopped others from tearing you down. It's never stopped your boss from degrading you, and it's never stopped people from losing their jobs. People choose what they want to see. So put your work out there understanding that people will have opinions, which is honestly just feedback that you have the choice to accept or not. The next mindset shift that we'll embrace is done is better than perfect. Just get the task done. Know you'll do better on the next one. This is literally what I remind myself every day because it's really hard not to consistently nitpick everything you create or put your energy to. Also, I don't think I'd ever finish anything if I didn't tell myself that done was better than perfect. You can spend time setting yourself up properly, laying the ground for work to come, but there will never be a perfect time, a perfect plan, and you will never quite feel like you know enough or are experienced enough. Progress, not perfection, is what builds momentum. Start messy, start scared, start absolutely petrified of what comes next. Just start. We live in a world where comparison is constant. Social media makes it really easy to measure your life against someone else's highlight reel. You see their successes, their milestones, their confidence, and suddenly your own progress feels small. You hear stories of people's businesses generating 6 figures in the first year. You hear of YouTubers getting monetized after their first video, and influencers generating 40 grand from the beach. But comparison is a thief. It steals gratitude, focus, and joy. It makes you start to question your own ability to achieve, which ultimately is just a huge distraction and not a headspace we can afford to be in right now. As a budding entrepreneur, small business owner, or content creator, you might find yourself constantly digging into Reddit pages, trying to figure out how other people who are on the same journey as you are doing. You might even find yourself comparing your analytics directly to theirs, your income reports directly to theirs. I think there definitely is room for comparison, and even from a business perspective, it's definitely necessary. But that's where you have to separate yourself from your work. See your business as a separate entity from yourself. Then you view your analytics and income reports from the perspective of a business owner, not you, the creator. Beyond this, and here comes our next mindset shift, you are not your success or your outcome. If this weren't true, then we would never overcome or achieve anything. If you think about it, a lot of wealthy billionaires have had many businesses go bankrupt. It's not made a difference to them. It hasn't defined them. It was just another business that didn't succeed. And this could literally be the case for you too. I personally have had 3 businesses fail. Yeah, I definitely got knocked down, but here I am, standing on my weirdly large feet, at it again, determined to succeed. And if I don't, then I will learn from this experience the way I've done with the others. But you won't find me thinking that I'm entitled to any version of success or wondering why it hasn't happened for me yet. Except when I'm like really hormonal. Success isn't a race, it's a direction that we have the ability to work towards. The only person you need to compete against, right now at least, is yourself and your own highlight reels. Now that I've blown your mind, would you show me some love? I would absolutely love it if you subscribed and gave me a thumbs up. Can you though? I won't say I'm desperate, but you can't hit a target that you can't see unless you're like really good at throwing things with your eyes closed. People often chase a version of success without ever defining what it actually means to them. We all want to be rich and famous, right? Do you though? Do you actually? We need to define what success means to us and have clarity around it. Is it financial freedom? A business that generates X amount of money per year? A top lifestyle? A paid off home? Without clarity, you end up chasing someone else's dream. And even if you did reach it, it won't really be fulfilling. For example, I always thought I wanted to be a singer. I was convinced as a child that I was going to be Hannah Montana. But when I grew up, I realized I don't really like singing that much. At least not enough to make a career out of it. Even though I still feel that itch to explore it once in a while, I realized what I actually wanted was to feel the same passion that artists have for their music. My version of rich and famous looks entirely different now than it did back then. Dial in your vision, babe. What do you actually want? What's the 10-year plan? Take time to define your version of success. If you achieved it, what would your ideal day look like? Who would you be surrounded by? What's your first thought of the day when you wake up? Clarity gives direction. Once you know what you're aiming for, every decision becomes easier. And boy, will you need to figure that out. Because the journey to success is often filled with a lot of days where nothing is happening. Nothing's moving forward. And you'll ask yourself, why am I doing this in the first place? So no mindset shift for this one. Clarity for your future, and you'll have the long, grueling path to success paved in front of you. I also wrote an article on how to define success for yourself. It shall be laid to rest in the comments. The voice in your head is a beast that must be conquered. It's either your biggest critic or your greatest ally. And while it can fall in the middle, wouldn't you rather have your self-talk working for you? If you constantly tell yourself you're not ready, not smart enough, or not capable, you'll start to believe it. And you shouldn't, because our inner critic often speaks from a place of influence, not reality. Think about this. How many times have you felt tired and told yourself you can't possibly finish a workout or a long shift at work, but then you did? How many times were you in a bad mood at work and told yourself you can't work there any longer, but resisted the urge to quit and went back the following day? If you shift your inner dialogue, everything changes. Learn to consistently challenge and reframe your limiting thoughts and beliefs. You know, you don't actually have to believe every thought that comes into your brain. There was a time where I needed to hear that, and maybe you need to hear it too. Our self-talk runs all the time. Well, probably less if you're a man. Dictates more of your day-to-day actions, moods, and behaviors than most of us even come to realize. This is exactly why your own thoughts might be preventing you from succeeding. Your thoughts might literally be the reason you're stalling projects, procrastinating, or you might even be engaging in negotiations with yourself to give up altogether, convincing yourself the effort isn't worth it. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." "I failed" with "I'm trying." "I'm not there yet." "I'm getting there." "I can't do this." "I can and will. I'm actually doing it right now. Look at me doing it." Your words shape your reality. Speak to yourself like someone you're responsible for encouraging. You wouldn't let a child speak about themselves poorly, would you? Would you? So you have no reason to accept that for yourself. I feel like I do need to quickly clarify that there is a difference between reframing thoughts that are holding you back and trying to convince yourself that you're not in a bad headspace or mood. If you're having negative feelings, honor that and hold space for it. If your body is demanding rest, those aren't the type of thoughts that we're wanting to be reframing. We're challenging limiting beliefs, the ones that are making you stall and preventing you from becoming successful, not the limitations of our physical human existence. Growth almost never happens when you're comfortable. The habits, routines, and environments that feel safe also keep you small. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand what's possible. You fire new neural networks in your brain and low-key, even expand your reality into realms you haven't accessed before. Our next mindset shift is to embrace discomfort and breathe with me. Overwhelm. Because you will be uncomfortable and you will be overwhelmed. And it'll stop you dead in your tracks if you let it. The path to success often means learning new skills, doing things you've never done before. Some people adapt well to that, others find that a lot. And that's okay. I personally fall under the category of people that finds it a lot. I've been uncomfortable for months at this stage of growing Team W. I'm drained from all the new things I've learned, and the second I get comfortable, unfortunately, I find myself having to adapt to new information or changes that just adds more work. Discomfort isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're evolving. It's evidence that something is shifting. You're shifting. You, literally as a person, you are shifting. You are becoming someone else because you're doing something else. And that will make you feel like someone else. But that feeling, that is one of the secrets of success. You become the person you want by doing differently. Because the version of you, the one that's sitting in front of me wondering how to be successful, is not the version of you that will attain that success right now. Because you're not the person doing the uncomfortable things right now. That's just the truth. But don't let that scare you or discourage you. Let it inspire you. Let it motivate you. Let that reality be the reason you do something different today. You're sitting on endless business right now, okay? Is it clocking to you? Think about what you're capable of. Maybe you haven't thought about it in a really long time. Bring yourself back to a memory of the first time you tried something new. It probably felt uncomfortable, even terrifying, but you gained confidence from it. Did you not? That's the pattern of success. Discomfort, growth, confidence, repeat. Sometimes, what holds you back isn't even fear or doubt or even a lack of courage. It's self-sabotage. It's you getting in your own way, boo. You procrastinate on the things that matter the most. You downplay your achievements. You talk yourself out of opportunities before they even begin. Why? Because success changes everything. It challenges your identity. It challenges everything you know to be true right now. It forces you to grow beyond who you've always been. Earlier, we talked about the fear of failure. Now let's talk about the fear of success. And yes, this is actually a real thing. I was stuck in this state for years. Paralyzed. I couldn't move. My dreams were just better in my mind because A, I didn't fail in my mind. Why would I? And B, keeping it in my mind meant everything in my life stayed the same, as I always knew it. Keeping it as a dream also meant that I had something to dream about when things were bad. Sometimes I used my dreams as an escape from reality. But if it came true, how would I escape if I felt bad? What would I even dream about if I had everything? I'm not confident that I'm prepared to have exponentially more than I have right now. Sometimes I feel like I'm barely managing the assets I have right now. And while I know that's not true, it does feel true to me. I don't feel like I have a grip of everything. If I have more, that means I need more time to manage everything. The thoughts alone are overwhelming me. But like I said earlier, we are embracing overwhelm. Having success almost always means more responsibility. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that, let alone prepared for it. Perhaps you may realize that the thoughts I'm having might be relatable, and you also might not be ready for what success would look like to you. Perhaps you're recognizing that in some way you purposely stalled your progress for that same reason. Self-sabotage occurs on a spectrum. It can be subtle and it can be extreme. I would self-sabotage by partying a lot on purpose because you and I both know that I wasn't working on my goals hungover. I'll say that much. And if I dig even deeper, I knew I wouldn't get to my ideal self if I got messed up every evening. But I did it anyway. Because the thought of literally achieving my dreams actually kind of seemed like too much to handle. Beyond that, I let myself get distracted in so many ways. I got really into weekend trips and adventure when I knew deep down that I didn't really care about it like other people do. I did it because if I was spending my time climbing mountains, then I knew I wouldn't have to think about the fact that I am not doing anything to pursue my dreams right now. However, let's remember this. Contrary to popular belief, success does not happen overnight. By the time you have it, you'll likely have been practicing for years. And by that point, you'll be ready for everything that comes with it. Pay attention to your patterns. Be honest with yourself. And ask yourself, how have you been sabotaging your own success? What part of you is afraid of success? What story are you still telling yourself about what you deserve? This awareness is the first step to challenging the pattern. The final reason you're not attaining the success that you desire is because you lack consistency. You're showing up sometimes, but not all the time. Mirrors keep hitting the same spot over and over, and it looks like nothing's happening, but it might be the 200th blow that will destroy the rock or whatever it is miners do. Showing up half the time means half the progress. Doing half-ass work results in half-ass results. And here's the other thing I remind myself all the time. It is much easier to keep going than to start over again. Think about when you started to exercise consistently and you had to stop for whatever reason. It was hard to get back into it, right? Right. So if we consider that, then we realize it's much easier to commit to doing one task when we're having a bad day than to let ourselves get off track altogether. And the reason is simple. You lose momentum. You lose your streak and drive to keep it up. You don't need to take massive leaps every day. And you can absolutely take days off. You just need to keep moving forward a majority of the time. Write one page, make one phone call, finish one thing. Each small step taken builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum. Even imperfect effort beats perfect intentions. So then the question becomes, how do we build consistently? There are several approaches, but in my opinion, the top two are: number one, and we've talked about this before, shifting your identity. What do people who have the level of success that you want do every day? If you want to be an entrepreneur, you're probably going to be working every day. If you want to be really fit and have hints turn while you walk, you'll need to be active and eat well nearly every day. Most successful people have an identity and mindset worth envying. They're disciplined, focused, and resourceful. Number two is to make it a habit. Habits by nature are consistent. Your productivity, time management, and work habits will be the daily progress required to get you to the top. And oh my gosh, would you look at that? It just so happens that I made a video on how to make habits stick. Look, there it is. Sorry. Success doesn't belong to the most talented or confident people. It belongs to the ones who keep showing up. Like I said, you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step. Success isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to begin. Start today, start small, start mortified, but start. Your future self is already thanking you for it. No outro for this video. Would you believe it's actually exhausting to be this motivational? Lately, I've been trying to end my videos with words of wisdom or encouragement, but that's literally this whole video, so let's not beat a dead horse, shall we? All right, you know the gist. Please like this video if this is clocking to you. It really helps the algorithm show this to more people. Thank you so much for watching. It is literally my joy in life to create this content, and I hope you got what you wanted from it. Don't forget to subscribe. I want you in the Team W community, and we're just not a community without people like you. I have a blog, and I post on it every 4 days, consistently. And like I mentioned, there is an article pinned in the comments for you to check out. You can also hire me for one-on-one self-development coaching. All the links are in the description. Thank you for supporting this channel and watching until the end of the video. I appreciate all of you and cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye, friends.